Okay, so you're a mother of a son that's been in the Ohio prison systems. You yourself have dedicated your life to helping and bettering people's lives in society, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and right now you're a little bit sick, so you're not able to work, but your son, how long has he been in prison?
Almost 5 years.
5 years, and how old was he when he went there?
19.
19, and basically he was involved with something where he testified, but he got more time than the people that actually did the crime, right?
Correct.
Correct. So your son has called you, when was it, yesterday or what?
Well, this happened about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Two guys barged into his cell. One of them started hitting him with a lock, busted his eye, and the other one pulled his pants down and got on top of him, rolled him over and was trying to penetrate him, but he said he kept moving his lower part of his body from side to side to make it impossible for the guy to try to penetrate him. And he ended up getting a hold of the lock and started hitting on the metal in the cell, which alerted a guard. And a guard came up, but by the time the guard came up, the guys knew that they could hear the guard, and they got up like they hadn't done anything, but my son's eye was busted. They took my son, not the perpetrators, but my son, took him off of the tier or whatever, the block or whatever they call it, and took him to medical. And they took him to an outside hospital about 2 days after the event. And then they've been holding him in the hospital part of the prison since this occurred in September. He's been in there over 2.5 months now. He's been in the hospital unit.
So basically he's segregated, and the people that did that to him are not?
Right, he's segregated. The people that did this to him are not. They keep interrogating him as though he is the perpetrator and not the victim. They haven't let him shop for personal items, hygiene items, or anything, the amount of time that he's been locked up back there.
So he's being punished for reporting in
yes, he's being punished. And he's being threatened by the staff and everything there. And it's just like he doesn't exist back there. I've made several attempts at calling the prison, trying to find out what's going on. No one has contacted me back. I contacted UMA, UMA, or whatever that is, a guy at the prison. He said that no one's ever contacted me back about any of this. And my son is petrified that if they release him back into that population, that these guys that got away with this is going to kill him or hurt him. He's just really scared. And he's being treated like he's done something. He can't use the phone. He can't go to, commissary. He can't do anything. He can't do anything.
How old is he now?
Segregated.
How old is he now?
He's 24.
Okay. And how much longer does he have to do there?
He has 17 years, and he's been there almost 5. He's got about 12 years left.
Okay.
Yep.
I know. Okay. So how do you find this information out? From him writing you?
No, he calls me.
He is allowed to call?
Yeah, he calls maybe about once a week, or maybe.
And my friend told me not to embarrass you or your son, and like I told you, sadly, your son's not unique, and I want you to tell him he's not alone, and that I'm going to call, everybody I can, and the people in the prison have promised me last week that if I get any instances like this, they will address it. They know I've written a book. They know that, I also have built up a huge network of people that care like this, and I've, connections like that.
And my fear is this, no, you cannot expect an individual to be violated like this and not be angry. Okay, and my fear is that they may retaliate, he may retaliate, and he may end up with even more time than he went in there for because someone tried to violate him.
Right.
You know, and
they do. They catch charges. They catch extra charges in prison all the time. I get what you're saying. There's a Prison Rape Act, that was put in place in 2003. I don't see, with the amount of
it's a joke. The investigation is only supposed to be going on. I looked online at this, and it said that the investigation should go on for like 60 days. He's been back there longer than that.
Right, like the RIB board. But you said was there an outside police entity that came in?
The state police came,
okay.
But they were interrogating him like he had committed a crime, not like he was a victim, and that frightened him. He was treated like the perpetrator.
I know.
And he kept constantly, he doesn't even want to talk to anybody anymore now because everybody's treating him like the perpetrator and not the victim. He says, Mom, I'm scared to say anything. I'm scared to do anything. I'm so afraid because the way that they're treating me and talking to me and threatening me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna make these calls, and we're gonna pray to God, and we get your son moved, and we. I'll continue to call moms that call me all the time, and we all support them. My book, I know, would help, but just you called the prison not many times. They're not helping.
No, and that prison is a joke. When you call to schedule a visit, they hang up on you. I've never seen anything like that place.
Okay, well, I have talked to the prosecutor's office before about rapes in prison.
And I called the prosecutor's office when this happened, and they told me that they can't get involved, that the prison does their own investigation, and that it has to go if the state police feel that it should be warranted, then they'll notify, the state police will notify the prosecutor. But the prosecutor, I was trying to get my son some type of representation.
It's true. The prisons are not regulated. It's insanity what's going on, but we're going to get it. The justice system, I keep saying to everybody, cannot work if the prison system is a rehabilitation. The prison system is a joke right now.
It's not a rehabilitative place. That's a place to turn people into savage beasts so that they can become repeat offenders because they have become this beast, which means that they'll become a repeat offender and recidivism rate, which means that the privatization of prisons can go on and guarantee money because we'll keep getting these people. And that's just the way it works. That's the way I see it working.
I see it like that.
There's no way that you can give a first-time offender 17 years for the charges that my son has. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in jail, because he should, because he violated the law.
Right.
But he was a first-time offender, 19 years old, no previous criminal history, first-time offender. He got 17 years after he turned state's evidence on his co-defendants who were adults. He was a child when this happened. He was 16 years old. They didn't bring the charges back on him until he was 19, when he went into the adult system. Then they took him back to the juvenile system when he was 19, brought these charges up, and did a bind-over waiver on him and brought the charges up on as an adult because he had an adult case. And then they gave him all that time. And how are you going to rehabilitate somebody at 19? And he is rehabilitatable at 19, but not given 17 years in prison, he's not going to be rehabilitated.
You're making all the points that I make over and over and over again. I'm training the brains of as many
people. They gave him 5 or 7 years,
right,
or 6 years. Yes, he could have been rehabilitated. He would have been 25, 26 years old coming home. He could have started his life over.
Right.
But at 39 years old, he's not going to start his life over. He's going to do exactly what's normal for him, being in prison.
Right. Well, and you know what? We're going to take this, slowly. The justice system and the prison and the legislations are going to have to get it together. United we stand, or all together we're going to fall to violence, crime, drugs, all of this that this is inducing, and all the costs it's costing. So I do have returning citizens that have been away for that long, and they have their testimonies, and they can help guide your people like your son. But let's just deal with this issue right now. And I have, been told that honestly he might, raped. And if he was, sorry, and that he's having issues with possibly that situation. And either way, he's been violated, and that was attempted on him. And we need charges pressed, and I want those people prosecuted.
Yeah.
I want them prosecuted, and I want them to be charged with. They've done now another crime, and I feel
right, exactly.
And they're not even being.
It's horrific. I mean that people go there, and I mean what are the officers doing? I mean, they can't even protect the people.
I know. The officers, to my understanding, there's 19-year-olds that are, qualified with enough hours to be a hairdresser, let alone a corrections officer. And the inmates are 10 times, 1,000 times smarter than the correction officers, okay? So we need better correction officers trained with coping skills. We need people like me and my team to go into the prisons like we do, and we're building a relationship with them to teach my people inside of the prisons how to deal with themselves, how to take accountability and learn and grow in there, and just flip the script on the system, because the system's not working. The system is not running for the people, it's running to make money.
That's what it's doing.
I know.
That's what it's doing. And it's doing it at the cost of lives of other people.